Now we're going to be working on perfect square trinomials. So what does that mean? A trinomial means three terms. As you can see, you have three terms in this expression. Perfect square, it means that the first one is going to be a perfect square and the last one is going to be a perfect square as well, the constant. Now, in order to know whether we can apply perfect square trinomial or not, these are the steps that you need to follow. First of all, go ahead and square root the first term. What's the square root of x squared? Just x. Now go ahead and square root the last term, which is usually the constant. So square root of 25 is a 5. It means that the first term is x. The last term in this factor is going to be, or the second term is going to be a 5. Since you have a plus for the middle term, then you have a plus over here, and that's going to be a square. This is how you use the perfect square trinomial. However, to check if you are correct, now what you can do is you need to multiply x times 5. How much is x times 5? 5x. And once you do that, so 5 times x is 5x, and then you double it. 5 times x times 2 is 10x, and I did get the middle term. It means I am correct. I can use the perfect square trinomial. Now, why should I double it? Because when I say x plus 5 to the power 2, I mean that is x plus 5 times x plus 5. So it's double x plus 5. Now, if you try to FOIL, x times 5 is 5x. Now 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 5 is 25. As you can see, the middle term is doubling. So 5x and 5x is a 10x. And this is how you got to the answer that you have originally, or the expression you had from the beginning, which is x squared plus 10x plus 25. You see that? So in order to know whether you can apply the perfect square trinomial, square root this, square root the constant, multiply them together, and then by 2, because you're going to end up with a double. If it gives you the middle term, then it is a perfect square trinomial. How do you write it? It's x plus 5 to the power 2. Now let's go ahead and apply this to our second example. As I can see, these are three different terms. The first one is a perfect square, so if I can square root it, so square root of 36 is an x, and square root of x squared is just an x. Now let's try to square root 16, and I got a 4. So let's see if I'm going to get the middle term. So multiply these together, and then by 2, so 6 times 4 is 24, times 2 is a 48x. So I just got the middle term. It means I can apply the perfect square trinomial. So if I want to factor this, I'm going to write 6x to be my first term, 4 to be my second term, and since there's a minus for the b, it's a negative 48x, so it's going to be a minus, and this is to the power 2. So this is how you apply the perfect square trinomial. Again, if you try to write it out twice, and you try to FOIL it, you should get the original expression. Now remember, at any time you can put this in y1 and your final answer in y2 and graph them. If you end up with only one graph, it means your answer is correct. And that's everything for perfect square trinomial.